It's a little after 6. I'm going to open this regular town board meeting, Town of Rhinebeck. It is May 12, 2025. Is anyone would like to join us for the pledge, please?
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We are doing a couple of things tonight, so I'm going to go a little off schedule. But may I first have a motion to approve our prior minutes of April 28, 2025? Okay, I'll take Dana and Chad. Thank you. Any comments or questions from the board? Any amendments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. We are going to have a public hearing, but I'm going to open it after we do a really fun thing, which is thanks to the work of, I'll go over here, I don't know why, but I just feel like we should stand. Thanks to everyone who's here tonight from our Historic and Archaeological Preservation Committee. These are rock stars, and along with the help we've gotten from Kathy and Jim at Planning for Places and the recognition that we've got for the town, I'll just read this. So Marty, thanks for everything. Thanks for your great award, all your work for Warren and Kathy, co-chairs. Kathy had to leave, she has a personal issue. But this has been a really busy year. Hello? Hi, it's been a really busy year for HPAC. There are Historic and Archaeological Preservation Advisory Committee. In addition to reviewing the historically sensitive sites for the planning board and for any work before the planning board, HPAC has made a lot of progress in fulfilling the educational component of their charge, which is to sort of get the public up to speed about what's important here historically and how we go about preserving it. They completed and released the Town of Rhinebeck Historical and Archaeological Handbook. And if you haven't seen it, you should go to our website and check it out. It's amazing. It is so amazing that they won an award from the, I want to say what it is, from the Federation of Planning in New York State, award in excellence. So thank you for that. Work that shows a lot of our historic landmarks and properties and talks about how we can have people aspire to preserving them without forcing it. So that's really great for the town. But this evening, we're here on behalf of HPAC for an award. HPAC and the town board has selected an award for excellence in historic preservation for 2025, and we're giving it in May, which is Historic Preservation Month. Who knew, but it is. And the award is going to Wilderstein for their ongoing preservation efforts. So when Margaret, also known as Daisy Supley, created a non-for-profit in 1880, she said that she hoped it was going to preserve what is worth preserving. And Daisy's gift for the future generations was to preserve her family's home, which is a multi-generational great home on the Hudson River. And it's a virtual time capsule. The property was intact when she donated it and put it into the non-for-profit, and it included all the furnishings, all the original landscapes, all the collections associated with it, and the documentation. And fortuitously for us, then as now, we have a lot of great people in Rhinebeck who are dedicated to historic preservation. So they really stood up and took the charge of this trust. And with patience and perseverance, the Wilderstein Historic Site has embarked on a 45-year odyssey, painstakingly stabilizing, repairing, and restoring this magnificent piece of local history. Having most completed the stabilization of the carriage house, we wish them continued success with their most recent undertaking and all future endeavors. what a gem they have preserved for us here in Rhinebeck. So thank you on behalf of the town board and HPAC too. Is it great? Who's accepted?
Thank you.
On behalf of the town board and HPAC, thank you for your amazing dedication and work. It is a gem. And if you haven't gone to see it, please do. It's just beautiful to walk around the grounds, and all of your docents are here.
Sure. Hi, can you hear me? I'm Greg Sekeres. I'm the executive director of Wilderstein, and this means so much. Wilderstein has been a labor of love for many, many people in the community, and it looks the way it does today because of the work of so many folks, some of whom are in the audience tonight, which is wonderful. It's an inspiration for us, I think, in many ways to be recognized at this point. We still have a lot of work ahead of us at Wilderstein, but it's nice that the town is recognizing what we've accomplished so far, and hopefully will also be an inspiration to other folks in the community who own historic properties, because there are so many wonderful ones in Rhinebeck. We're quite fortunate. Thank you. Sure, yeah, I was asked to just announce to everyone that the wonderful board that you see in the background, it's going to be on display both at the Star Library and the Morton Library during the rest of the month. So be sure to go and check them out. There's a lot of interesting detailed information on there that you'll be able to enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, and I know Nancy Kelly's here, and our former and probably forever historian, and Susan, our current historian. Thank you for all your work on preserving what's wonderful about Rhinebeck and what makes us so special. Can you hear? Is this? I can't hear. So it's not. Okay, really close. I'm going to come back to announcements. I'll do announcements now because everyone's here. We're composting, doing food composting with the village. Yay! You can get a free composting bucket in Town Hall from the clerks, but you have to onboard first at the village website. Sign up and then come in and get your compost bucket and bring it to the parking lot when it's filled up, and that'll save a lot of food from going into the landfill. So we're thrilled about that. The last day to pay county and town taxes before they're returned to the county is Monday, June 2nd. After that point, it goes to the county, and you'll have to drive to Poughkeepsie or send a check there. Assessment grievance day is Wednesday, May 28th. You can call the assessor's office, or I believe you can walk in for appointments. She's taking appointments. Call the assessor's office and come for grievance day if you have an issue with your assessment. And the town pool will be open weekends starting May 24th. We heard you, we listened to you. We're opening earlier and staying open later as long as we have the weather. So enjoy the pool this year. We have a public hearing for tab 1, everybody. Local law to be numbered at the year 2025, a local law amending the town of Rhinebeck zoning map pursuant to Chapter 25, Article 5, Section 125-64-4 to rezone the property located between Astor Drive and Rhinecliff Road, State Route 85, tax ID parcel 6170-002233360000 to permit an affordable workforce housing development within the workforce housing district. We are opening the public hearing for comments from the public. Before we take public comment, I just want to let you know that we're holding this, well, Ken's going to, I guess, speak a little bit, but we are holding this open until our next meeting on June 9th, 6 p.m., so it will be continued then so that we can get back all of the referrals that we've sent out. We have heard back from the County Department of Planning, and they're still in broad support of this project and have no comments. They said that it is a matter for local concern only. So that's good, and we're waiting to hear from our planning board, our conservation advisory board, and our waterfront advisory committee. Warren, basically what we're doing is opening a public hearing. This is allowing us to lay down the floating zone that we created for workforce housing that Jonathan mentions here, and everyone else, Nina on the workforce housing committee has been working on for, what did I say, jamming this through for 15 years. We at warp speed, it's coming to an end. We're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. So, Ken, do you want to say anything more? Do you have to add anything? I think I explained it.
I think you explained it. My microphone is working.
You got to go way up front.
So, yeah, we're at the end of, nearing the end of the process for the involvement of the town board in the establishment of this workforce housing law and the project. We have two local
You
laws.
got to hold it right up to your mouth.
Do my best. We have two local laws in the town of Rhinebeck which support the development of workforce housing or affordable housing. We call it workforce housing in the VG zoning district. Those districts were created specifically because of their proximity to the village and ability to hook up to the village water, and were deemed to be an appropriate site for workforce housing when we passed the laws with the help of the Affordable Housing Workforce Committee. A lot of people on that committee are here. We thank you for your good efforts. We have gone through the process through the town board of environmental review. The town board assumed lead agency status for this project and worked very hard on a very detailed negative seeker declaration. And negative seeker declaration is actually a good seeker declaration. It means that we did not find any significant environmental impacts of this project which warranted the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. And we did cover and review all the potential environmental impacts of this project, as we noted ourselves and as were noted by members of the public in reaching that conclusion. We also had very detailed submissions by the applicant. Mr. Kearney is here to maybe address the board. We were very fortunate to get a very experienced developer of affordable housing or workforce housing projects in New York State to be interested in this project for the town. In the local law, we cited all of the reports and submissions that were made and were considered by the town board, both in the negative seeker declaration and in deciding to move forward with the project. Let me turn this off, I'm sorry. We also adopted what's known as a, what is the plan called? Concept plan. Just drew a blank.
I do that all the time.
The concept plan for the project, which is actually the detailed site plan that has been submitted and worked on and amended. After we adopted the concept plan, we sent that on to the planning board in the hope that they would start working on the project. That didn't happen, so came back to the town board. And at that point, we had received other comments from the village and some of our committees. We considered all those comments at another public hearing and had more submissions by the applicant and adopted really an amended concept plan which didn't differ radically from the original and didn't raise any environmental concerns for reopening the environmental review process. So we're now at a point where we've adopted the concept plan and we're passing what's required by our local laws to rezone that property in accordance with our zoning code into a workforce housing zone, which will allow the development of this plan. If you read the local law, it recites all of the submissions that we considered and all of the hearings that we held. And there's also a section of the local law in which we have amended certain of the district bulk regulations of our code to accommodate this plan. We now are, if the local law is adopted at the next meeting, it will be in the hands of the planning board to conduct their site plan review of the project. And at that point, construction on the project can commence. So that's all I have. I don't know if
Do you want to say
you want to say a
anything?
few words?
And let's hear what the public has to say.
Let's hear what that,
I mean, we've had many hearings on this, but anybody who would like to speak, please do so. We're going to hold this open. Just come on up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good evening. My name is Craig Olszewski. I live at 10 Seymour Drive, and I'm a member of the planning board, but I rise as a town resident, and the concerns I'm about to speak are my own. I'm not opposed to the project. I support workforce housing, and I recognize the need for affordable housing in this town at this time. I do believe that it's only fair to the people who will live there that the workforce housing project be of a suitable quality, as articulated in the workforce housing clauses of the town code, as well as the applicable policies of the town comprehensive plan. The project needs to be walkable and to have an effective connection with the nearby village center. It must provide adequate usable outdoor space for the residents and must be compatible with the character of the town and the village. These are all features that would be properly addressed in a planning board hearing and a site plan review. With the proposed action, the town board seems prepared to preemptively override the determination of the planning board before any such hearing or review has taken place, leaving only the choice of which color vinyl siding the buildings will be wrapped in as the only likely subject of review. Workforce housing residents should be entitled to live in the town of Rhinebeck in all of its splendor and glory, and not some prefabricated approximation that's stripped of the natural beauty and scenic charm that make our town what it is. For this reason, I think that the town should not suspend the neighborhood standards that serve to reflect and define what a special place this is. The town should not permit the large-scale clearing of trees from a historically wooded site, and the town should not permit the planned geosculpting and earth moving that will be required to shoehorn the project into this awkward site buried behind the sewage treatment plant. In order for a spot zoning to be successful, the requirements need to fit with the broader policies of the town. The lack of a sidewalk connection to the village, the alteration of the existing land formations, clear cutting of historically wooded sites, and erection of generic monolithic structures that will be visible from the scenic roadway are all departures from those established policies. Thank you.
Thank you. Jesse?
I've spoken about this many times, and clearly nobody's going to change their mind on this, but if you're going to call it workforce housing and then use the word affordable after that, building this type of living without building studio apartments completely eliminates that ability. Because one person may not be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment. So what's going to happen? The dishwashers, they're going to go 3 to a unit. Got guys sleeping on the couch, got guys sleeping in a bunk bed. It is just not the way to accommodate true workforce housing. I've actually, as a matter of fact, as a former realtor, I don't think I've ever seen a workforce housing project be built without studio apartments. You're forcing people to live together. That takes away their privacy, it takes away their dignity, and it's just wrong. And it just behooves me why they're not building studio apartments. Now, from a builder's point of view, I understand that, because it costs them basically the same amount of money, yet they're getting less rent. But if you're concerned about getting less rent, then perhaps you shouldn't be a builder of workforce housing. So once again, I would hope that they would consider building studio apartments. And furthermore, you can put more people in this housing complex if you have them, as opposed to saying, oh, well, we're going to accommodate families of 3 bedrooms. Most of the people who live in this village are single, they live by themselves, and we should give them an opportunity to continue to live by themselves.
Thank you. Steve?
Thank you. Now for something completely different. So I'm Steve Rosenberg. I live in the village. I actually created the town's open space and affordable housing committee back in 2006 with Bob Wills, when we envisioned this kind of project in this location. And so it's really great that the town has brought it to this point. Most people I talk to in the community have become sensitized to Rhinebeck's lack of housing affordability and the need for the community to respond. Issues like housing, especially affordable or workforce housing, tend to become lightning rods, generating lots of heat and light, and with that can come a higher bar than usual for what some may consider acceptable. A project like this one has been anticipated in just this location for many years. It will move us in the right direction. It alone will not solve the housing problem, but no single project will. It may not be everyone's idea of perfect, but if we want to promote more efficient land use patterns in the town that don't fragment the town's surrounding natural landscape, we need projects like this that are adjacent to the village, served by water and sewer, across the road from the park and library, highly energy efficient, as well as helping to enable local businesses to cater more to local clientele. The concept plan's been carefully reviewed and approved by the town board after extensive public input. The developer's been responsive to what the town has asked of it. The village has signed off on the water and sewer. We owe it to our community to get this project done. We can't afford to wait for what would likely be many years for someone else's idea of perfect. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Vincent Della Vega. I am a village member. I live here in the village. I'm Sportini. So good evening, Supervisor Spenzia and members of the town board. I am speaking on behalf of the Conservation Advisory Board. The CAB fully understands the need for workforce housing and supports its development and appreciates the significant steps taken to address the issue in our community. However, after holding a special session to eliminate any potential conflicts of interest, we would like to express our concerns about the Locust Hill development and the process by which it is being reviewed. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to collect them and bring them back to our committee to ensure we provide complete and accurate responses. To begin, the Town Code 125-763H requires collaboration between the Planning Board, the Workforce Housing Committee, and the CAB during the concept review phase. We do not believe that the appropriate level of collaboration has occurred. We've submitted comments and concerns as early as June 2022 and have received no formal response. This has given the appearance of excluding the CAB from the role it is legally required to play. Second, the current site plan continues to conflict with the town's comprehensive plan and the local waterfront revitalization program. The project proposes significant grading, tree removal, destruction of rock outcropping, and landscape recontouring, actions that undermine our goals of preserving the rural character, scenic roads, and ecological integrity of our town. The project also fails to meet the design and planning expectations set by Town Code 125-61, which governs scenic roadways, and by the town's design standards manual, which appears to have been waived without justification. There is still no clear plan for walkable infrastructure connecting the development to the village. The proposed stone dust path is not ADA compliant, and year-round access, especially snow removal and lighting, remains unresolved. This will greatly limit the accessible area for all residents. Furthermore, the potential hydrological impact on the Rhinebeck Hill is significant. Under New York State SECRA law, ECL Article 8, any large-scale regrading or stormwater disruption must be fully assessed. We believe the town board may have failed to meet the hard look standard required. Finally, basic questions remain unanswered. How will school buses stop? Is there no alternative to removing rock outcroppings and massively altering the site topography? What is the plan for replacing the nearly 500 trees that will be cut? How will pedestrians reach the village or the town park on foot? We urge the town board to 1, reinstate CAB and WAC into the formal review process. 2, require compliance with all applicable sections of the town code, comprehensive plan, and LWRP. 3, ensure that environmental review and public oversight are not bypassed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Gina Fox, Rhinebeck Village. I've waited for 15 years to spend my tax dollars on developments such as this. I think it's interesting that tonight we're promoting Wilderstein's preservation, and I too appreciate the historic preservation group. Who are we preserving Rhinebeck for? We need families to afford to live here. We need young people to be here. Our population is aging. Our schools are shrinking. And we are very, very lucky to have the perfect spot. Well, not the perfect spot. Nothing is perfect, and I think Steve spoke to that. No matter what is proposed, there are going to be people who oppose it. And you cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So we have to get past that. The other thing I've heard a lot about the amount of trees that are being cut, and I didn't recognize one single person from the tree committee that I've worked with for over 30 years. We've planted way more trees since I've lived here than will ever be cut down here. We're very lucky to have the site. We're lucky to have the developer we do that's willing to work with us and amend things as we see fit. But we're way overdue. The ground should have been broken on this 10 years ago. So the longer and longer we wait, the more it's going to cost us in so many ways. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being here.
Anybody else? Take your time.
Hi, I'm John Clark. I live on Beach Street in the Village. I was on the Village Comprehensive Plan Committee, and I'm also on the Village Planning Board. This has been a long time coming. This project in its basic form dates back to the 2009 Comprehensive Plan. That's how long it goes back, where this was designated for priority development in the town. And it's there because it's next to the village, walkable to the village, and next to the sewage treatment plant, which is really critical to have anything done in this village, is to have sewage capacity. So there were significant zoning changes in 2012, in 2017, and 2019 to make this happen. Here we are still talking about this in '25. And that's a shame. I can't speak for the village. I'm just one person. I don't want to speak for the planning board because I'm only one member. But we did write a letter. The village planning board did write a letter regarding this back in January of this year. And I'm just going to quote a couple lines from it so that you can see, because it wasn't posted on the website. The Village Planning Board supports the future construction of 80 affordable housing apartments in the town of Rhinebeck's Village Gateway zoning district. The recently adopted Village of Rhinebeck Comprehensive Plan identifies affordable housing as an important priority and endorses an increase in overall housing supply with more diverse mix of housing types. It specifically targets a village expansion district in convenient walking distance to the village center, with an interconnecting street system for the large parcels in the northwest quadrant adjacent to the Locust Hill proposal and the village's wastewater treatment plant. And I would direct you, if you're interested, go on the village website, look up the comprehensive plan, and look particularly at pages 15, 42, and 43, where the village takes a strong stand for making an integrated Locust Hill project with a street system and a sidewalk system connected to the village in multiple ways. It's hard for a project to be affordable if it's dragged out for 10 years. It's hard for a housing project to be affordable if it's required to do all the infrastructure when the village and the town should be taking some responsibility, and the interim parcels between Locust Grove and the village as they are being developed can make those connecting systems themselves. So I think all that should be kept in mind when you ask for extra levels of development. Now, I'm on the planning board. I respect the planning board members in the town. They are going to have their say when it comes to site plan, and that's still in the works. So things like architecture, landscaping, screening, street design, sidewalk connections can all be handled by the planning board as long as they're consistent with moving this thing forward and coming up with something that's consistent with the concept plan. So they're not being phased out of this, and they've been involved or can be involved as long as they want to be, because this thing has been going on for at least a couple of years on the books, the application. So I'll finish by saying I do have two minor complaints. One is it's taken too long. Again, this should have happened 10 years ago, and I understand that. And two, the village website or the town website should be updated with all the most recent material. Nothing's on there that's later than 2024. So if we're going to move on to the next phase, which is the planning board phase, the village residents and the town residents should have all the information available on the website.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Leonard Navarez. I'm a village resident. I'm Leonard Navarez. I'm a village resident. I've been here living in Rhinebeck since 2004. I had a daughter in 2005, and then 2006 I joined the Rhinebeck Open Space Affordable Housing Committee that Steve Rosenberg talked about earlier. I recall I had to step down because I had a 2-year-old at that point, and it was a little busy, but the larger point is that this has been an idea that has been in the works for as long as going on 20 years. My daughter is now in the state university system, and like many of you who have children who've gone through the schools, you may wonder, like, is there a place for our kids to live here? I don't think my daughter necessarily wants to live in Locust Hill, but of course that's not the point. The point is that the village needs to do its share in increasing the housing stock for the long-term affordability of the village. And this is part of that solution. We're being asked to approve a general zoning change. This is clearly a project that has room to be discussed at the finer level, but that's not necessarily what we're here for tonight. So I just wanted to say this has been a long time coming, and I'm glad to see that we are now at this stage and I fully support the Locust Hill project.
Anybody else? Can we wait until the next meeting, or you want to? You just do whatever you want. And Ken Carney wanted to say something, but I don't want to stop the comments.
I just want, good evening, Ken Carney, Carney Realty Group. Just a couple of thoughts. While this may have been going on 15 years, I'm a newcomer. I attended my first meeting here in 2018, so 7 years. I think we started the formal process back in 2002. We contacted the hospital back in 2019 or so to discuss purchasing the property. And then there were, of course, conversations with the village, which led to the agreement that we have for the water and sewer. I just want to correct a couple of statements. First of all, we're not using vinyl siding. We don't use vinyl siding. We use hardy plank. It stands up. A couple of things about us. We're developers. We build. We have 3 sections in our office. We develop, we build, but more importantly, we manage. Everything we own, we manage. and we don't sell anything. My son runs the business now for all intents and purposes. Our grandchildren, 2 of them, intern during the summer, and I intend, I hope, pray, that they'll enter the family business as well. So this is a long-term investment. This is not something that's going to get built and then it gets flipped or turned over and the town is dealing with somebody else. The town is dealing with the Carnings today, tomorrow, and in the future. So we do not use vinyl siding. In regards to the sidewalks, as John Clark touched on, there is another piece of property behind the Baker home. It's approximately 6 to 7 acres in the village. That is owned by my family, myself and my sons. We are going to develop that with the village, waiting for a comprehensive plan that has been adopted in the village, and we're waiting for the zoning. But as John mentioned, Locust Hill has been designed in a way for that connectivity through that property into the village. So we haven't ignored the connectivity. It's the perfect place to connect our sidewalks, and our site plan dictates that. There was a comment about the DOT. We have DOT concept approval. Took us 3.5 years to get. A lot of site visits and so forth. We have New York State Department of Transportation conceptual approval for all the work that's going to go on that road. The school bus. We've met with the operator of the school bus and officials from the Rhinebeck school district, and they've agreed to come on site and pick up any children that would be taking the school bus. So that concern is gone. These also are not, I heard the term prefab. We don't prefab. We stick build everything, we custom build. If anybody wants to see my town, where I live in the town of Carmel, Hamlet of Maven. We built the first workforce housing project ever in the history of Putnam County. It's the last county in New York State not to have one. We built the first phase, fully finished. It was very well received. We got a second phase approved. We broke ground on that about 6 months ago. I was there yesterday, I was there this morning, and if anybody wants to take a ride and take a look at how we build, our guys are there every day building it. Stick build, it's a great product. Phase 1 was very well accepted, and phase 2 will be as well. And my last comment, and I'll just share a story I shared with, I forget, it was back in 2002 or 2001. We were on Zoom calls with different, I don't know which board it was or committee or so forth, and I heard a lot of negative comments about the location, about this and that and trees and so forth and so on. And you kept hearing that I'm not opposed to it, we want this and we need this, just not here. So I shared a story that 30 years ago when I started in this business, when I was young and dumb. I'm not young anymore, so I guess I'm just dumb. But I went to one of my first hearings, and I heard that story. We want this, we need this, just not here. So I picked up my stakes, I moved to another location in that town, and I started over. And 6 months later, we had another public hearing. The people got up, different people this time, and they said, we want it, we need it, not here. So no site is perfect. I think the location of this site is very, very good. The proximity to the utilities that we need, water and sewer, the connectivity that we're going to provide working with the village through our property into the village is going to be great. We own and we manage over 2,000 units. We know what we're doing. We know what's going to work. This is going to work. And so I look forward to the town board moving this forward. Thank you.
Hi, Hi, I'm Cornelia Gallo. I'm a Rhinebeck native. I am for this project. However, I have concerns which I've brought to the board before. One is the fact that there is no requirement that the residents have to work within a certain radius. We keep talking about walkable to Rhinebeck. The people that are going to be living in these units are not going to be walking to Rhinebeck unless they're working there. They're not going to be eating here. They're not going to be shopping here. They're going to be driving to Tops, or more likely Hannaford's, and they're going to be driving to jobs outside of the village of Rhinebeck. So the 1.5 cars per unit, I don't think is realistic. I think it's going to be higher. And it is going to put a burden on the traffic in Rhinebeck, because your main egress is going to be the intersection in the village. So I think we do need it, but I think we have to be realistic about it also. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? We're going to hold this public hearing open until the 9th, when we'll have referrals back. And we can hear more comments then. And the board will decide how we want to proceed after we're done listening. So if you want to speak, or wait until June 9th? Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. Excuse me, everybody. We're continuing Excuse me, everybody. We still have a meeting going on. If you want to continue to meet, you can go outside. Thank you.
We have to leave.
Okay.
We're supposed to stay before that.
May I have a motion for 2025-145 recreation hires?
Motion.
Thank you, Dana. Second. Thank you, Alan. Dana, Colleen, and Alan. Any comments, questions, or concerns from the town board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. May I have a motion for 2025-146?
Motion.
Employee pool passes. Thank you,
Second.
Dana. Thank you, Alan. Any comments, questions, concerns?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Bill, would you just close the door?
Thank you.
May I have a motion for 2025-147 Crawford and Associates? Let me read it, Dana. Contract. I'll take Dana.
concert to get to.
Dana, Colleen, and who's seconding it?
Second.
All right, Chauncey. Thank you. Any comments, questions, concerns? This is for our park.
It's for a grease trap, not
Yay.
a zero-turn mower, so I have no
No,
interest.
you're not, you're done. For a grease trap for our pavilion, which we're going to build out. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-148 Rhine Cliff Pocket Park Cleanup Day, Chad.
Motion.
Oh, Dana, scooped it.
Second.
That's Chad. Wiki. It's going to be a cleanup day for the Pocket Park and the Rhine Cliff Park, and that'll be good. And then we're working on plans to do something more permanent. So this is a stopgap. Turn it up a couple of notches before
Just freshening it up for the new look.
new look.
I have one comment, it's not the pocket park, it's no household garbage park, so.
Not anymore, Dana. Not anymore. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I'd like a motion for 2025-149 for the Harriet Tubman Scenic Byway. Yay.
Motion.
Thank you, Dana.
Second.
Thank you, Chauncey. This letter does allow me to sign a letter in support of this on behalf of the town board, and thanks for doing all the work on this, Dana.
Thank you,
It's a
Dana.
great no-brainer, but now we know.
Yeah, just so you all know, this is 100% free to the town. This is a total freebie, so I grabbed it. We're going to be part of a scenic byway. It's going to bring lots of tourists. It's going to be awesome.
Or hopefully it'll just recognize the amazing work of Harriet Tubman.
Yes, it
Yeah.
also has meaningful good things, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I'll make a motion for 2025-150, our preliminary accounts payable abstracts. May I have a second?
Second.
I'll take Chance. Any comments or questions? You had a question, but we answered it.
We did.
Yeah.
It's all
All in
done.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I will make a motion for 2025-151, our capital projects abstracts. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Oh, any opposed? Nobody opposed. All unanimous? Great. Any new business before the town board? Any public comment on any non-agenda items? Any comment on anything within our purview? Warren, I will make a list of some of the comments we heard today.
That'd be good, thank
And
you.
we'll work on answering them as we feel the need to do so. We're holding open the public hearing for workforce housing until our next meeting, which is June 9th. So I'll make a motion to adjourn, and we'll see you all on June 9th. Thank you and good night. Motion?
Second.
Good night, everybody.